everyone. Today we are going to start the new chapter, that is your squares and square roots. In this video we will cover square. I will explain you the concepts of square. In geometry you have heard about the word square. Square means any figure, four-sided figure where all the sides of the figure are equal. That is your square. But this square is your algebraic square. But this square is different from this square, means your geometrical square. This square we are using in algebra. So now quickly let's start. So here square means we have to double the number. If I write 3 square, 3 square or 3 raised to the power 2, that means 3 into 3, we have to multiply the number by itself. It will give you 3 3s are 9. Similarly, if I write 5 square, 5 square means we have to multiply the number by itself, that is 5 into 5, your answer will be 25. Okay, if let me take 12 square, 12 square means what? I have to multiply 12 into 12 means 2 times the same number, that will give you 144. Now similarly, now come here. This is the square. If I take the size of the square as 6 centimeter, means all the sides are same, so all the sides will be your 6 centimeter. So remember that area of square is your side into side. So how we used to calculate? Area is equals to side into side. That means 6 into 6. That will give you 6 is a 36 centimeter square. Okay, now let's see the next topic. Okay, now let's see perfect square. Perfect square means the square of a whole number. So now let's quickly take an example to explain you. If the question says that I have to check that whether 600 is a perfect square or not. So for that what I have to do, you have to simply find out the prime factorization. You have to solve this by prime factorization method. Now quickly solve. 2 3s are 6, 0 0, copy. Then 2, 150. Then 2 7s are 14, 1 carry, 2 5s are 10. After that 3 2s are 6 7, 3 5s are 15, 5 5s are 25, 5 1s are 5. So 600 I can write down in this form: 2 into 2 into 2 into 3 into 5 into 5. So now quickly let's group them, form a pair. These two, they form pair. These, you just group these two 5, they are forming pair, but 2 and 3, they are not forming pair. If you are getting any number which are not forming pair, then you will say that 600 is not a perfect square. Okay, now let's see the next example. Okay, so now let's take a new example, that is your 729. So now let's find out that whether 729 is a perfect square or not. So let's solve. 729 means 3 2s are 6, 7 1 carry, 3 4s are 12, 3 3s are 9, 3 8s are 24, 3 1s are 3, 3 2s are 6, 7s are 21, 3 9s are 27, 3 3s are 9, and 3 1s are 3. So now let's write down 729. Factors are 3 into 3 into 3 into 3 into 3 into 3. Now quickly let's form pairs. Pair them. Okay. So all the 3 you can group them into pairs. So that means this is a perfect square. 729 is a perfect square. Okay, now let's come on to the new topic, that is your properties of square number. Before coming on to the properties, let me quickly write down all the square numbers till 10. That is your 1 square will be 1, 2 square, 2 2s are 4, 3 square, 3 3s are 9, 4 square, 4 4s are 16, 5 square, 25, 6 square, 6 6s are 36, 7 square, 7 7s are 49, 8 square, 8 8s are 64, 9 square, 9 9s are 81, and 10 square, that is 10 is a 100. Okay, so now according to your first property, digit at unit place. If any number you want that number, you have to check that whether the number is a perfect square or not. So the digit at unit place should be either 0, 1, 4, 5, 6 or 9. How? Observe here. 1 square means unit place 1. Here you can observe unit place is your 4. Here you can observe unit place is 9. Here you observe that unit place there is 6. Here unit place is 5. Here you observe unit place is 9, 0. So we can say that if you want, if a number, can say that if you want, if you have to check that whether any number is a perfect square or not, so you can check by just simply seeing the unit digit. Unit digit should be either 0, 1, 4, 5, 6 or 9. But unit digit cannot have these digits, means 2, 3, 7 or 8. For example, if I take 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, and you have to tell that whether this number is a perfect square or not. So simply you have to observe the unit place, just observe the unit digit. Unit digit is your 8, and according to the property, if the unit digit is 8, the number will not be a perfect square. Okay, but here one thing you have to keep in mind. Okay, now if I take one more example, that is just 64. 64, you can observe the unit place is 4. So if the unit place is 4, then that means 64 is a perfect square. But children, here one caution is there, one thing you have to keep in mind. Or if, for example, if I write 74, if I take 74, 74 is also having the unit place 4, but 74 is not a perfect square. It is not a perfect square. So in this condition means 0, 1, 4, 5, 6 or 9. So here 4 is there, 4 is here also unit place, but it may be a perfect square or it may not be a perfect square. Okay. Let's come on to the next property, that is your second property. According to this property, if you have to check that whether any number is a perfect square or not, for that the zeros should be your even number. That means if I take 10 square, that means 100. So here you observe how many zeros? 2 0 means even number zeros. Similarly, if I take 20 square, 20 square means 400. So your zeros are even number. Similarly, if I take 60 square, 60 square means 3600. Zeros should be your even number. But if I write down 986000, so here you observe how many zeros? Only 3 zeros are there, means odd number. Okay, how many zeros are there? If odd number zeros are there, then definitely it's not going to be your perfect square. So always remember your zeros should be even number. Means if 4 zeros are there, for example, if I write down 3, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, then you can say that it can be a perfect square. Why? Because 4 zeros, even number zeros are there. Now here are a few questions and you have to check that whether these numbers are your perfect squares or not. So your first question is 412. So 412, you observe the unit digit. Unit digit is 2. Remember your property 1. Unit digit is 2 means it is not a perfect square. Here observe the unit digit. Unit digit is 3. That means it is not a perfect square. Here unit digit is 7. That means it is not a perfect square. 1308. Observe unit digit is 8. It is not a perfect square. 2810. 0. Odd number. Only 1 0 is there, means it is not a perfect square. Here also observe 30. 30 means odd number 0, means it is not a perfect square. Now your third property says that if we do the square of even number, then we will get a even number. If we will do the square of odd number, then we will get the odd number. So here you can see 16 is your even number, square of even number will give you even number. And if you are doing the square of odd number, you are getting an odd number. Here also you can observe 5 is your odd number. So square you are getting an odd number. 4 square means even number square you are getting even. Now according to property consecutive natural numbers and we calculate the difference of square of two consecutive numbers, then that will be equals to sum of both the numbers. Now I will explain this property with the help of example. So here two consecutive numbers I am taking 16 and 17. So square of these two consecutive numbers and I have to calculate the difference, means 17 square minus 16 square. In that case, what we can do, that is 17 square is your 289, 16 square is your 256. You will subtract them, then you will get 33 as your answer. But according to this property, we can directly solve. How we can directly solve? If we simply add 17 and 16, then also you will get 33. No need to calculate the squares of both the numbers because the question will become very lengthy, that you will calculate the squares of two numbers and then you are calculating the difference. So it's better that if two consecutive numbers are there and you have to calculate the difference of the square of two consecutive numbers, you just simply add the numbers. According to property